Hello, everybody. Pop Culture Curator here. So good to see you. Tonight we are doing a Rumblings from the lab because I was having a little bit of audio issues earlier in the week that I had to troubleshoot with my microphone. So I didn't have the opportunity to get ready for the Dracula stream. But we will get caught up with that next week. Of course, my voice sounds like garbage, and I apologize. But first, I want to say hello to my good friend, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Caught a good sized northern yesterday out fishing. So
Nice.
I'm gonna have northern trips one of these days. So
I'm sorry, Northern what?
a northern pike to
Oh,
fish.
okay.
But I suck at filleting, so it's good. It turned into a northern. So instead of northern fillets, I got northern chunks.
Are you supposed to fillet them?
Yeah, fillet. You can get like 5 fillets off of them, and then fry them up, But they turned into chunks.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure either way it will taste delicious, right?
Yeah, I haven't had northern in a while. Well, my grandparents used to make pickled northern all the time.
Well, that sounds almost like sardines. Sounds yummy,
Yeah,
though.
well, it's basically like how you pickle stuff.
Yeah.
The it's basically pickled northerns.
No, that sounds delicious. I love pickles. I wish I could. I wish I'd have the opportunity sometime in my life to get into pickling because you can get all kinds of stuff you can pickle yourself. I wish I'd have gotten into that. And how are you doing, PvP?
Oh, not too bad. Work week halfway over, so that's always a good feeling. And but my bank finally got around to actually mailing me my new debit card, which is my old one is set to expire on Saturday. So it's like, thanks, guys. Like, I'm glad you finally got it to me because I was really starting to worry. Right? It's like, oh boy, 3 days after this. So I went down and checked the mailbox before I came on the stream here, and it's like, thank the heavens, it's in my mailbox, so I can
Yeah, they
activate it.
usually cut that pretty close.
They really left it towards the end of like usually I would have gotten it like a week ago at least, right? So I don't know, but I guess that's the mail system these days.
Very cool. How are you doing tonight in the city, buddy?
I'm doing very well, Pop. Frustrated with certain things, but I'm happy to be here. Happy we're having rumblings, and I'm happy to have everyone in the chat. Thank you all for being here, and
And yeah,
appreciate
right.
it.
And to fill everybody in for all because we just got started, and I know we got started a little late tonight. I'm sorry, guys. We were talking in the background before we came on. And this is about a PlayStation 5 and a $200 microphone, which pretty much fried. Yes, the heat from the dongle that the microphone required overheated and immediately fried. And he hasn't even had the PlayStation that long. So he's having to deal with that. So my question, hello, Sci-Fi Satan. My question, Nemesis, is are you going to replace that microphone? Because if you do, if you get the same thing again, won't it just overheat again and burn out again?
That was my exact thought process, Pop. Um, Maybe I could, if I do get it replaced, I can just sell it for at 3/4 of the price and take a little bit of a cut, but at least give it to somebody else. Because if their PlayStation 5 has the dongle port on the front of their PS5, it'll be fine. But because mine's on the back, where all the heat is being expelled, I don't think it was fine. And it just doesn't work anymore. So,
Oh, so in other words,
yeah.
you can't get a refund on the mic. You have to actually accept it, and then it's up to you to get rid of it, sell it, or whatever.
Yes.
How are you going to do that?
It sounds like it's going to be a process. I'm going to have to contact Sony and deal with them, probably mail it off, and then if they're cool about mailing me a brand new one, I'll just sell it and take my loss. Apparently, the actual controller has a microphone in it, and I was testing that out on a stream before we started this one, and it works pretty well. So props to Scobly Yoten for finding that out for me. Definitely check out his channel if you guys haven't.
Sony sells this product.
Yes, Sony sells this product. It was the Pulse Elite, and I don't recommend it to anybody. It was nothing from a nightmare, nothing but a nightmare from like the moment I pulled it out of the box.
So you bought it from Sony.
I bought it from the source,
But
but it's a Sony product. Yeah.
Yeah, then you think Sony shouldn't give you any problem then. Theoretically, or hopefully, keep us up to date. Let us know what happens with that.
Definitely.
I'm just wondering, Nemesis, the source did not offer to give you a store credit at all, did they?
No.
Oh, okay, because I would have asked them if the store credit was an option, because they did tell me once that would be an option if necessary. So it sounds like you got a really bad source branch in your town there or something, because I, haven't had issues quite that. I actually never had a bad issue, even though, I mean, there's always the first time, I guess, could happen, but it sounds like you got a really bad, staff at that store or something, Nemesis.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly great, and I will be quite honest. They did, like I said, they went out of their way in quotation marks to phone other places and get me that one-time deal. I just had to go to halfway across the province to pick it up.
Yeah, it seems odd.
But
ship
I
it
left
from
the
store
store.
to store. You'd think.
Oh, dude, I know. Trust me, I know.
Right? Oh well.
Yeah.
Well,
I left the store being like, F this, F that. Or not, I didn't say F you to the people, but I was like, I'm never effing shopping here again. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. And I left. I was in such a huff that I couldn't even put the box back together, PvP. I looked like a mess. Tried to leave in a big old huff, and I rolled a nat one. Well, no, it was more of a 3. It wasn't a natural 1, but.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you for being upset. Like, I would have been PO'd too, right? Because that's very bad service that they gave you, I think. Wow. So, is there any other electronic stores you'll be shopping at instead of those bad people?
Oh yeah, for stuff in the future, for sure. Right now, I'm just going to use, like I said, the PlayStation controller and use the microphone on it. It seems to work pretty good. As nice as it is to have headphones that do the 360 panoramic sound, so I know where the enemies are coming from and the gunfire is, and it's super immersive. I'll deal with just what I have for now, because that's fine. I'm used to it.
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll get it sorted out with Sony, before too long. So, let's hope, eh?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing? Sci-Fi Sit Down.
Oh, still alive and kicking, not dead yet.
Well, that's good to hear.
How about you?
Same. Doing good. And another thing the girl and I were talking about in the background, backstage, whatever the hell it's called, is Furiosa. What do you guys think about the box office reaction to Furiosa?
Well, for what I hear, the movie actually was a flop, for what I hear.
Oh, yeah. Yes, a massive flop, yes.
Well, it's a Mad Max film without Mad Max, so I think that says a lot about why people don't really care to spend money to watch it.
Well, they already wrecked it by just replacing the character instead of giving us a new character with a background thing, like his daughter, or something.
Yeah, it's a prequel, right? So yeah.
Oh, it's a prequel.
Oh yeah, it's a prequel.
Oh, that doubles it down worse.
Yeah, it's like a sequel prequel remake.
Yeah, but
I
still say gender swap.
I still say he should have had a daughter abandoned by the mother there, and as a joke called her Mad Maxine. Then we get the daughter story instead of we get a daughter story taking over the helm or taking over. Versus
passing the torch.
Yeah. Mad Maxine would have made more sense because you could have done the backstory. It's like, well, Max actually ended up impregnating, the mother, and that's why the daughter exists. So that would kind of tiny bit carry
I
on
would-
the Mad Max legacy a
Hey,
bit.
hey, I would totally go for it. I'd be like, cool, we're getting the pass of the torch, no, because I wouldn't care if it is a woman, as long as it's not replacing the old character.
Well, yeah, be better than what we've got, that's for sure. I think what people really want to let's put it this way. I know Mel Gibson's getting older, but I think if he's still in reasonably decent shape, I think if you actually made a Mad Max movie with Mad Max with the original, oh gosh, what's his name? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. It's terrible when I forget an actor's name, but you know who I'm talking about, right? From the original 3 films. And they got the real Mad Max. What was that, Pop?
No good.
Mel Gibson, thank you. Yeah, boy, I was having a brain freeze there. Yeah, if they had Mel Gibson back and put him in the title role and actually did a proper Mad Max movie, like, an older, wiser Max kind of scenario, perhaps, I think people would probably flock to the theater to pay money to watch that, because I still think that people want to see the original, they want to see Mel Gibson, doing some of the more, early kind of Mad Max stuff. They don't want to see all this, female gender swapped, girl boss stuff,
Yeah.
Right. Well, so let me ask you this: if they would have made it the plot with the Mad Max scene, where that was Mad Max's daughter, and if they could have got Mel Gibson back, are you saying that he should have been a big chunk of the movie, where it showed him having a daughter, raising her, training her, blah blah blah, or
That should have.
he's just like in a flashback cameo, establishing that he's the dad, and he's a deadbeat dad, and she hasn't seen him in years.
No, I think if they will show them like raising them there on Fury Road, like the origin story of Mad Maxine, and maybe they could even get away with um him dying at the end of it, and she's taken over and becomes the Mad Max that we all knew and loved.
So kind of like the Karate Kid.
I've only seen the first one.
Well, that's pretty much what you're describing, though. Is that she would be the daughter, he would train her, kind of like Miyagi did Daniel-san.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the Karate Kid movie, there was a father-son relationship between Mr. Miyagi and Danielson. There was.
Yes. Except this would just be a father-daughter relationship.
Yeah, well, actually, that would be amazingly refreshing if they actually had a father-daughter positive relationship in a movie, because, boy, they haven't done that in a while.
Yes, just what I was going to say. That is absolutely taboo now in Hollywood. They would not show that.
Yeah.
The whole point of the movie, think about this, guys. The whole point of that movie, like most movies now that we end up talking about in Hollywood, and I'm including King Kong, the New Planet of the Apes. Think about this. What they are birth control. They're birth control. In the old days, when they wanted to make money, they'd make a movie that was moderately cost, whatever. But a lot of times it had romance. It had a good-looking man the guys wanted to look at. And the girls also wanted to look at. It had good-looking girls the guys wanted to look at, and also girls wanted to look at. They were both attractive, heterosexual. There was sexual tension going on there. And when us, as an audience, when we go to see a movie like that, it makes you want to get laid after you get out of the movie. Because it's sexually positive and it sells sex. But now it's the opposite, because now you go and they're making the men weak. So it's nothing the men want to see anymore. Women don't want to go see men that are weak. And this girl boss is the exact opposite of that. Nobody wants to watch a girl boss for 2 hours and then go and get laid. Think about that. So in my opinion, I think it's all part of the plan of population control. I don't think. I think it's by design, and there's no way it's coincidental. But all these movies are pointing towards the same direction. What do
Well,
you guys
Pop,
think about that?
I think that'd be backfiring there because the movie's boring enough. I'd just might as well. Yeah, let's just go have sex instead.
Why
Well,
would it be? Or why would it be backfiring?
the thing
Hell,
is though,
just let's give everybody in the theater a show other than this.
Furiosa is 2.5 hours long too, right? So, I mean,
Yep.
I think if I'm going to sit for 2.5 hours with my eyeballs glued to a theater screen, I'm probably going to be so damn tired after that. I'm just going to go home and sleep. I ain't going to be thinking about making out with some chick, right? Like, So yeah, gosh, oh boy.
Yeah, plus, from what I hear, both to the audiences around, that the girl boss trope it's starting to die out since audiences are getting tired of it. They're saying, "We've seen this for over 6 years. No, thank you. What else is new?"
Yeah, well, think about it. I don't know, but I wouldn't say we're getting tired of it. We've never liked it from the beginning. Like Ghostbusters 2016. Look at the last Planet of the Apes movie. All bombs. So when would you say you've seen a successful run of girl boss movies?
None really, but if you think about co-leads, then the Terminator 2 one comes to mind.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Aliens
that's
franchise
before.
comes to mind
Yeah, no, but I was going to
with
say
Sigourney Weaver.
that's before Hollywood went woke.
Well, that's the thing. There always were strong female characters in previous decades. Like, you know, for me, the obvious one I think back to when I think of a strong female character that's just the equal of any man would be Emma Peel in the Avengers because, she's strong, she's capable, she's intelligent. She probably
Well, I know that.
knows more than Steed does. She's a scientist. She's got all the qualities, but she's still feminine, right? And still sexy.
Right, but
So,
my point is, why do you think the Hollywood does not want to sell sex anymore? Because, I mean, how many decades has sex sold in the movies?
Well,
Oh,
usually,
Relies
if
most
on
there's a
it.
lot
decades.
of usually if there's a lot of sex in it, that means they already knew it was going to be a bad movie, so they added it to get people to come to the movie.
Wait, I'm not talking about a bad movie with a lot of sex. No, what I'm talking about are movies that just have a heterosexual relationship. You have a hero, the damsel in distress, and they fight together. There's sexual tension throughout the movie. And at the end, the guy gets the girl and they kiss. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
We don't get that anymore.
there's always been movies with romantic, situations like going back, I don't know how many decades, probably going back, what, like maybe even to the silent era, like I think of,
Yes,
you know,
even
like,
books, novels.
yeah, well, think of like when I think of Charlie Chaplin, what was it, City Lights, where there's the blind flower girl or whatever that he falls in love with. It's like
Right.
you can go right back to 100 years ago or more, and there was romantic, heterosexual romance between men and women back even in those days. So
That's what I'm saying. I think that's
yeah,
what's killing Hollywood, in my opinion.
it certainly is not helping Hollywood, but Hollywood's too dumb to figure it out. It seems it's really sad.
Oh, I
yeah,
think they're doing it on purpose.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, but you think the box office bombs after a while. You think at some
That's what we
point.
thought with Disney, but no. Now we're
Yeah.
finding out it's because they're getting their backings, their financial backings from these big companies that are requiring them to
Yeah.
make movies like this.
Yeah, well, it's like I'm not going to talk much about Doctor Who because I know it's not something that I want to talk about. But Disney is, backing the BBC, funding, Doctor Who over there in the UK
No
now,
surprise.
and I think it's a lot to do with the current agenda they've been pushing. In the new series, 4 episodes in, and it sounds like it's pretty much all crap, and it's
Yep,
totally against straight white men in particular. Uh,
absolutely.
I mean, they even like the showrunner Russell T Davies even comes out and says things like Doctor Who was never primarily made for straight white men, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, straight white men were about 90% of its audience for like 60 years now before you came along, buddy. It started this
Well, that's what
graph
I'm
that you're
saying.
pushing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is Hollywood doesn't seem to care about men anymore or the male dollar.
Yep, it seems like it.
It's intentionally going out and taking all the male franchises and then ruining them one by one, singling them out and then ruining them.
Yeah.
And I think it's intentional.
Yeah, and there's a saying from I heard this in a trailer from a TV show. This isn't. It's all about power now. It is. It's all about power.
It's always been about. Are you talking about the plot of the movies, or are you talking about the way they run Hollywood?
The way they run Hollywood now, it seems to be all about.
That's always been power. That's always been power, but it used to be that it was also about earning money and doing what was successful.
Yeah, Hollywood's always been controlled by powerful men running the big studios for for like 100 years or whatever now. But as Pop mentioned, they used to like making money and having a happy audience. They were pleasing and giving the audience what they wanted, and now it's pretty much the exact opposite of that for like the last 20 years or whatever. So I don't know. It's just I don't get what the culture is, has gotten into in Hollywood. We could probably analyze it, but it's just flipped over on its head, and it's just not making any sense to the average. Any reasonable, rational person is just scratching their head, going, "What are they thinking?"
Yeah, and I would tell you guys this. I have not. I don't see any new movies. I haven't seen a new movie. I think the last one I seen in the theater was with my niece. It was the Avengers, the first Avengers, a movie, where they come together to fight against Loki. That one. That's the last movie I saw in the theater.
It's funny. That's what I saw at the drive-in, and that was the last one I saw.
Last one I saw was Godzilla -1, and it was fucking awesome. It was a cinematic masterpiece. Loved it.
I finally got to see it, and I agree.
Oh, dude, did you really? No way. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was not a letdown. That's good to say.
I'm not sure.
Excellent.
I'm not sure what drove me away from the movie theater or TV shows in general for the past 10 plus years, since I rarely watch TV shows or rarely watch movies in the theater anymore. I'm not sure what drove me away from it.
I think everybody's gotten out of the habit of going to the theaters there after the last couple of years there when we were all locked down.
For me, it was bad movies.
Yeah, but Gorilla, I was out. I did not even go to the theater before the 2-year shutdown period. I had not been in the movie theater even before then for about 8 years plus before the lockdown happened.
I personally it's the price. Like, it's always way too expensive to go see a movie.
I absolutely agree. The price is a big part of it also. But also the fact that it's very rare now where you pay to go see a movie and you get your money's worth. When you walk out and you're happy and you say, that was a good movie. I'd like to see that again. That just doesn't happen anymore. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about their audiences anymore.
Yeah, well, it's like the last movie I can remember seeing off the top of my head was the last of the James Bond films, No Time to Die. And there were some good elements here and there in it, but they had like 6 different writers, and it felt like 6 different movies because it kind of felt like it was cut and pasted together. Kind of, it was kind of a weird film that way. But it was the first time I ever walked out of a James Bond movie feeling depressed. That's never happened before. I was always like feeling good about life when I walked out of any previous James Bond movie at the theater, right? But this one, I was like, what the hell did I spend 2 hours and 45 minutes watching that? It's like, oh, God.
Tell me, PP, what was that the one with Fleabag in it?
Yeah, hers.
We all knew that was coming. We saw it a mile away before it even came out to theaters.
Yeah, she was one of the writers, I think, writing some of the stuff in it too, which didn't help. So yeah.
And her career has been so successful by tanking so many franchises. They give her Resident Evil.
Well, it seems like that for people like that, failure is the way up now. It seems.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's pretty weird what's going on. Like I always thought when, in the real world, if you failed, you got your ass kicked, and got fired, right? But now in Hollywood, if you fail over and over again, you get promoted, right to the top. It's just like and make millions doing it. And it's just like I don't get it.
Now, I wanted to say hello before we get carried away too far. Is my goodness, we've already been on the half hour. We haven't even spoken to the chat, and I'm so sorry, everybody out there.
You want me to take over for the chat?
If you could, yes, thank you. I think we started with lemon pie.
Alrighty, so let me scroll in. Hey, Scurvy, how's it going there? He's giving us a wave there. And welcome to Gap After Dark. He says, hey, Pops, Grillas, Nemesis, Rockin' Bill.
Hello there.
Rockin' Bill, Scurvy.
Hi guys.
And Gap's PvP.
Well, hi Lemon.
Hello.
Suzanne says hello to Pop. Hey,
Hello
Suzanne
there.
says Gap. And Pickles, also known as LDG, says evening, folks.
Good
Then,
to see you, sir.
hey, the Pickles. And hey, Suzanne, welcome there, guys.
Oh, hi
Nemesis
Suzanne.
says hello. Catch you later at our regular meeting time, LOL. Ooh,
Hey,
hey,
Suzanne.
are meeting up, huh, Nemesis?
Yeah, she's a loyal follower on my streams. Thank you so much for being there all the time. Send a lemon pie. Really appreciate it. You guys rock.
Well, Nemesis,
And
in all
Philip Blair.
fairness, when you're streaming, either I'm at work and I can't even watch the game, or I'm sleeping.
Oh, but I thought you were all about wanting to see hot chicks, man. That's all I've been playing is Stellar Blade. It's been right up your alley. I mean, it's pretty gory, so it might not be up your alley, but the outfits sure are.
Well, if I'm at work, I can't be sitting there staring at my screen because they're already. Well, I can't even go into that right now. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, bro.
Suzanne says hello, Gorilla. Well, hello to you, Suzanne. She says hello to Sit-Dan and PvP.
Hi again,
Scurry,
Suzanne.
hello, you and LDG got this. It's everybody saying hi here. And Suzanne says, have a great stream, Pop.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Then Scurvy says, Suzanne, any trolls will be hunted down and defeated. All right. Nemesis, you want to read this one?
Yeah, I say hello, Lemon, Suzanne, Gap, and LBG. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, very cool.
And Scurvy saying yo to Nemesis there.
Yo, Scurvy.
And I'm waiting for this to get even longer, but welcome, Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU, and Doctor Who. How about you guys?
Taylor Swift.
Hello.
Hey, how about you just shorten it to anything on TV?
Yeah, pretty much. Eh?
Yeah.
Or just put any matinee, really.
Yeah. And Suzanne says, Scurvy, I'm leaving now. Carry on, LOL. And Suzanne, it's just as well. I'm eating garlic stuffed jalapeno, so you will want to keep your distance from my breath at the moment. Oh.
Your breath sounds awful. Your food sounds amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can smell your breath from here, Scurvy. Take a breath mint. Hey, Sean, how's it going? I hope you got your power back.
Sean.
And and your house didn't suffer too much.
Yeah, really.
Hey, Sean. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Well, thanks for being here.
Also, everybody check out Sean Carter's new video he just posted. He's finishing up that model there of that Klingon D7 cruiser.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
And no bloody 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's
5,
right.
or 6. And as everybody's saying hi to each other here, saying everybody's saying hi. Yeah, welcome Spidey, also known as Canadian Spider-Man. Hello, he says hello and good day, everyone.
Howdy, howdy. Hello, Spidey. Great videos. I've been lurking. My computer hasn't been working so well, so I haven't been able to go on any panels. But I've been lurking in the background on some of your streams with Rod Thunderheart. Very cool.
Yeah, good to see you, Spidey. Thanks for being here, bro. I appreciate it.
You know what we need a clip of? Of the hand slap and go, good day, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, get on that, gorilla.
I could make one. It'd just be me, but I thought there was a clip already out there. I don't want to be infringing on someone's copyright, you know. Not
This is true.
Oh, wait, that reminds me. I got a couple copyright claims I still got to fight. All right, that's all the chats.
Thank you, Gorilla. I appreciate that. And it looks like my Stream Element spot seems to be working so far, so that's always good to see. So, anybody see the new Planet of the Apes?
No.
It's on the list. It's actually on the list. I'm a watch, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. I don't have the extra funds right now to go out to like my movie budget funds going towards taking my kid to Inside Out, and even that his ticket's already paid for. So
Well, my movie budget sails the high seas, so I don't have to worry about that. But I am
well,
I
let's put that out on the thing.
Well, they're already
Yeah.
judged by what they're saying about it. It's not. It's bombing at the box office, and it's bombing for a good reason, and that's because it's a bad movie. So it's too bad because that's another thing that I predicted at the very beginning of the year that it was going to bomb, and I was right. And I have no choice but to compare because they came out just a few months apart, and because they're both part of the same franchise. But I have to compare Godzilla minus one versus Godzilla X Kong. And I will say Godzilla X Kong is a steaming pile of shit next to Kong, or next to Godzilla minus one. Especially after seeing Godzilla minus one be so successful and do so well. I'm really surprised how many people have showed up for the Godzilla King Kong movie at all. How many people have seen that one? Godzilla Kong.
Not me.
Not me.
I haven't seen the newest one, but I've definitely seen 2 out of the 3 movies. So I believe, and I would agree with you, Pop. They don't hold a candle to Godzilla minus one. Godzilla minus one, even without Godzilla in the movie, is a phenomenal movie that just deals with great characters and great character development and a great script, great music, great everything. And then you add the Godzilla factor in, and he's portrayed incredibly well in that movie, and it's awesome.
Finally,
Whereas with right, like it's just, I don't know. I'll give the Legendary Pictures what it is. It brought back a revival for Godzilla. Because like lots of people didn't go to see Shin Godzilla, and like I did, but the people at the screening were very few, and it was a limited screening. So like it at least has brought some revival back to the Godzilla franchise, but it doesn't know how to do Godzilla like Toho knows how to do Godzilla. They don't understand it.
Well, because they don't have that message that the American movies are pushing across. I mean, Godzilla's King Kong, it's 100% woke. We get, once again, birth control, ugly, masculine, they took a woman, made her ugly and masculine. So whatever the best phrase for that is. plus the little girl who's the secret to everything. It had every distasteful trope going through Hollywood in that movie right now. So, I mean, it was a bad movie. I'm trying to remember if I made it all the way to the end. I can't remember if I did. I know I fast forwarded through a lot of it. Very bad movie. With the girl boss, oh goodness. They even butched her hair just like Furiosa and what is it, the Charlie's Angels and all the rest of them. You've got to make them look like a man. That's the point of what I mean, how movies, they're intentionally making them, they're using them as birth control.
Well,
They don't want-
100%, because, like... Oh, sorry, Pop, go ahead.
I was just going to say they don't want men to be attached to women, attracted to women anymore, and they don't want women to be attracted to men anymore. And they're making that very clear.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I mean, it's even, like, you look at the newest Ghostbusters film, and I don't know her name, the blonde chick. She's a bombshell when you see her dressed up. She's got a massive jug. She's a gorgeous woman, beautiful figure. And what did they do? They made her wear baggy clothing. So they made her a nerd. They
Yep.
made her look as unattractive as possible because they don't want women to be beautiful anymore. They want them to look like men.
Yes, exactly.
Right? They're afraid of femininity and they want to replace it with masculinity, which I don't understand. It's
Well,
like
they're-
replacing, I don't know.
Well, it's just destroying the heterosexual family.
Well, yeah,
Especially a heterosexual white family.
yeah. Well, I think it's all about destroying heterosexuality. Basically, it's like they don't want men and women to, get together and procreate anymore. They just don't. They want a lot. That's one way to undermine our civilization, I suppose, is to, have
Yes.
straight, white folks not breeding and making babies anymore. So, that's one strategy I think they have, right? Guys, it's like, yeah, it's pretty
It's working
obvious.
too. It's working. The birth rate among white people have dropped so much. They're having less people than a lot of the other people. They're being outnumbered fast, and especially
You sure are.
And it's being attacked by all fronts. It's not only that, but with the borders wide open the way they do, it's all. I'm saying it's all intentional. It's not. It's not an accident.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, no,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, go ahead, Nemesis.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, no, it's not an accident. It is very much intentional.
Oh, it's definitely very much planned. They've got the plan. They've laid out the plan. They've got the strategies. They've got, when people reject their garbage, they've got the strategy about how to go about, attacking the fan base, which we've
Yes.
seen over and over for years now. And well, once again, it brings Doctor Who to mind, right? Because Russell T Davies, the current showrunner, he's a very gay man.
I'll be right back, guys.
And-
I'll be right back.
Okay, pup. He's a very gay man, and he's very happy to push his gay agenda. And he's even said that because of the new stuff with the gay Doctor Who, the guy playing Doctor Who is excessively gay, and he goes out of his way to show it. And Russell T Davies, and they brought the trans sort of trans character in the second episode, played by a drag queen. And Russell T Davies has said, that he has no problem pushing the trans agenda on children as young as 6 years old, which I find extremely disturbing. When I heard about that, I was like, I don't use the word evil very often. I hesitate to ever use that word. Occasionally I will, and this is one case where I think it is definitely this is kind of an evil agenda that Davies is pushing. But that's my viewpoint anyway. But it's just like they just don't want to have anything, as far as a straight, audience goes anymore. They just don't want us.
Whoops. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. Like
I mean,
I
I
don't
know
think
when
it's
I
working for them, but
well, the thing is, they've got their lowest ratings. You know, the first 3 episodes had some of the lowest ratings in history for Doctor Who. In fact, I think the third episode was the very lowest rated episode in 61 years. So that says something, right? That viewers. But the thing is, the guy playing Doctor Who basically told the audience that if you don't like what we're doing with the show now, just don't watch it. And then I guess a couple of weeks later, he was regretting saying that in a way, because guess what? People said, okay, you don't want us to watch it. It's not for us, straight white people anymore. Okay, we won't watch it. And then a couple of weeks later, of course, he was saying we're all ists and phobes, and because we're not watching his wonderful show. And it's like, guy, you don't get to have it both ways. You got to make a decision here. You either want the audience you've had for decades, or you don't want them, but you can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
well, they want the audience they've had for decades to convert to their way, though.
Ain't gonna
Yeah,
happen.
and here's sort of the thing for the diversity hires that the Doctor Who's doing. They're just grateful to have a job and to sort of show their talents, even though they may not have much talent to begin with, to earn a nice paycheck to live off of.
Well, the thing is, though, the guy playing Doctor Who currently is from Rwanda. He's an immigrant, right? So he's a black gay man, and he sounds anything but grateful to have his diversity hired job, where he's probably raking in more money than any of us will ever see. If anything, he's arrogant and disrespectful to the fan base, in a very big way. So he doesn't sound grateful at all to me about, having his current job, which definitely seems like a diversity hire. That I will agree with, but he definitely does not sound grateful to having that job that he should be grateful for.
Yeah, well, PvP, here's the kicker. He would not be grateful then when he loses his job, like when they cancel his contract, like we don't want you anymore because the ratings are in the shitter further. Then he'll be angry and he'll be frustrated. He'll be like, "What the hell's going on? I don't have a job to earn more money to do whatever I want with it now." He may sue the company for terminating him from being so-called discriminated against because he cannot act worth a damn or bring in the audience like the other previous actors could have.
Well, that's probably what I wouldn't be surprised if he did turn around and sue the production company, because it seems like the guy's in a total denial of reality. It's like, he just wants everything his way and everything to, cater to his little perception of reality. And it's like, guy, that's not the real world. You're not living in the real world. You've constructed this little, picture of the world in your mind that probably at least 90% of the population does not agree with. And it's like, I don't know if this guy is capable even of realizing that. At this point, it seems doubtful, but yeah, I'm at a loss to understand some of these people, because I just think they're way out there in some fantasy land they're living in.
Oh, and PvP, trust me, he probably sees it, but he'll just deny it and double down and triple down and quadruple down on his denial. He probably sees it, but he'll just deny it.
I don't know if he sees it. I really don't. I mean, look at Russell T Davies. Here's a guy that used to do Doctor Who years ago, and actually, could produce some good episodes back before he let his personal agenda take over. Instead of actually just wanting to make good science fiction stories, which he had done in the past. And he doesn't seem to get that he's giving, the fan base exactly what they don't want. He's just determined to keep plowing ahead with this for the remaining episodes of the season. I think we got like 5 episodes left, because they're only doing like a 9-episode season, because I guess they can't sustain it any longer anymore. But yeah, I don't think these people really have a grasp on reality. I really don't. But that's my opinion.
And I do have a question. From what I hear, or for what, honestly, I don't know. But what I hear, the main Doctor Who actor, either he's contracted to sign on for another season of Doctor Who, or or his contract ends at the end of this series. I'm not sure what I hear around the internet or.
I've heard some stuff online that he's contracted for 5 years or something, which I have no idea if there's any reality or truth to that, from what I've read. I honestly don't know. I don't know why they'd want to give this guy more seasons after this if it's going to keep tanking the way it is. Because, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know who if there's advertisers. I mean, the BBC, they get most of their money from the subscribers in the UK, because you have to have a license to watch television in the United Kingdom, right? Because if you don't buy a license, you could get arrested, which seems like kind of a undemocratic way to base your entertainment system television wise. But that's what I've heard over the years, that you have to buy a license from the government in order to hook up your TV and watch stuff. And it's like, so I know they're getting a lot of money through that. I'm not sure if there's advertisers that actually advertise on the program, but if there are, I would question if they're going to continue to advertise when the ratings are down to just around 2 million viewers, because that's a very low rating. I mean, very low, because it used to be like maybe pull in 10 million people an episode. So 2 is like getting way down there.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So just to interrupt, hello to Daniel's Hot Topics, who just showed up. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Oh, hi, Daniel.
Yeah.
Can we catch up on chats here real quick?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Thank you.
Sean says, thanks. All roofers are here today. Tarp for damage areas. It's a total loss, but hopefully we'll hold through the thunderstorms tonight. AC is still out as hot as Hades here right now. Oh, it sucks.
Oh, man.
Hey, Sean, I'm not sure how spendy it is, but if you got like a stand-up fan, like those circular stand-up fans, we rigged up what you call a swamp cooler, which we ran a little plastic hose through a pump there into through a bucket. We had one end in a bucket of cold water that had a pump on it. Then it ran a tube up to these copper coils that were on the fan there, and they're constantly pumping the water through there to cool down so it's hitting something very cold and cooling down the air as it's blowing out throughout the place. I'm not sure if there's something around there you can. It could have been too spendy what my boss spent on it. I actually got it in the storeroom here. And John says, "Hey, to Spidey Man." And Scurvy here says, "Fudge, that blows, Sean." Now, welcome to Daniel's Hot Topics. He says, he's asking Pop if he's doing well. Then he goes, the blonde chick.
Doing better, Daniel. Thank you.
Yeah. And Daniel says, the blonde chick, I think, is Christine Stewart, and I think she's a black belt. And Daniel says, I love
she got 2 black eyes. Every time it's short, she looks like a fucking raccoon.
Nope. Keep my thoughts to myself.
That's right.
Dale says, I love women who do martial arts because they are less feminine and at least tend to be. Yeah, it's not my channel to be making controversial comments, so I'll keep it to myself. So your house is a total loss or the roof, regardless, that is awful. Yeah, it sucks. That looks like a pretty good sized tornado that went through there. But I will say, Sean was a true Midwesterner there. He sat there and photographed and videoed it until a couple buildings down. Then he went to took shelter. True Midwesterner, right there. Yep. Daniel says, "How are you guys tonight? I just got back from the dentist for cleaning my mouth. It's a bit sore. Oh, that sucks.
Brutal.
To fix that sore mouth, just start drinking vodka until you don't feel it no more."
Jesus Christ, Gorilla. Booze isn't always the answer.
Am I wrong? Nemesis? Am I wrong?
No, but it might burn with the open wound in his mouth, though.
Okay, fine. Go with something less. There you go. If you really want it to hurt, then drink gin.
Oh, God. I mean, it'll be disinfected at the very least.
You could
Yeah.
always go for some like some of those liqueurs. Those are not too strong on the mouth.
Yeah. And Sean says, okay, thanks, girl. I'll look into it. Here, I'll go leave here real quick and take a picture of it for you.
Yeah,
Sean
dude,
says,
help him out.
Nemesis of Eden. Oh no, the roof. Sorry. He goes,
Oh,
Dale
brutal,
says,
dude.
did they numb the mouth for the cleaning? Ugh. All right, so I'll be back, you guys. That's all the
All
chat.
right. So
Thank you, Gorilla.
so just to finish what I was saying, the BBC is also owned by the government, so the BBC can actually take money from the government to make the TV show. But then since they have Disney for a partner, they're probably using Disney as a cushion to coop their losses back from what they lose from the Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah, they do have Disney now as a partner to cushion it, but the money you're talking about from the BBC does get the money from the government, and the government gets the money from the citizens of the UK who pay the government to have their TV license. Because if they don't buy a TV license, they could end up in jail, from what I have read. So it's a pretty much must pay up kind of system they've got over there. Even if people don't like what the hell's on the TV, they got to buy a license if they want to watch even one program, right? So it's kind of like they've got like the government's got like a monopoly as far as money coming in from the citizens. I don't like the system they got over there. I'm glad we don't have anything like that over in this part of the world. But you know, the only thing that would actually damage them would be if people got so fed up they just stopped buying a TV license and they just didn't put the TV on anymore. And if they didn't watch TV at all and they didn't pay any money to the government at all, that might start to hurt them eventually at the BBC. But, that's the only strategy that comes to mind that might have an effect.
Mass rebellion, but I mean, I don't think they're pretty sure about that, though.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get people united and on one front to actually do that, but I'm sure it would be effective. But I'm curious, what does Disney have to profit from this? Do they have exclusive rights to like air Doctor Who in the U.S. or what? What are they getting out of it?
Well, they haven't disclosed the contract, so we're just theorizing here. I would say that Disney probably has the rights for Doctor Who to be broadcast in the U.S. and then they make the money that way, probably in their contract, unless the contract goes deeper than that. But I'm just theorizing here.
So in the U.S., you have to pay. You don't get Doctor Who on any free network anymore. You have to get it on Disney Plus.
I
know.
I'm just theorizing. I would say probably any Doctor Who that's now broadcast over in the U.S. area, since Disney is partnered with BBC and the Doctor Who over there. I'm theorizing here. Probably any Doctor Who, no matter what channel or what station it's on, the Disney channel in their contract probably gets a cut of whatever Doctor Who is on TV, whether it be the old Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who, or the ultra woke new Doctor Who that's now recent coming out right now. They probably get a cut of the profit of Doctor Who in the U.S.
Yeah, I think there might have been a time when Doctor Who was airing on the BBC America channel, which was a cable
Yeah,
channel.
was on
I
BBC.
remember. Yeah,
Well, it was
but I'm
also
not.
on the BBC channels here in America.
You would think so, right, Pop? But I know I haven't paid attention to that for at least 5 or 6 years. So it might, with the whole streaming thing coming in big time over the last 5 years or whatever. I guess it might have shifted onto a streaming service. I would guess is a possibility. So I really don't know where it's airing in the U.S. As far as Doctor Who goes.
It's probably on Disney Plus and maybe a few other channels that broadcast the old Doctor Who, and then Disney charges a small royalty fee, even if it is the old Doctor Who stuff, just to broadcast it in the U.S. as a part of their contract with Doctor Who in the UK. I mean, this is pure theory on my part, but Disney has to try to make money somehow. Rather it be a bad show or a good show, they have to try to make money somehow.
I don't know. Has Disney actually made money in years now, though? Because apparently their theme parks are bleeding, bleeding losses too, as far as making any money. Because families are staying away from what I've read lately, because the prices are so damn high just to attend Disneyland. It's like families can't afford it, right? Like mainstream middle class people just can't afford it any longer.
Yeah, from what I hear, Disney has been. This is another so-called theory on my part, but it's also partly true. Disney has been probably jacking up their theme park prices to compensate for their losses in other sectors of their company profit. Like if their movie sector does not do very well, they lose like $4 billion in 1 year. They probably jack up the theme park prices to compensate for the loss, or they jack up other parts of their company's merchandise to compensate for the loss that way.
Yeah, but how does it compensate if people can't afford to go there anymore, so they stay away and they don't buy tickets? That's not going to compensate. That's going to add to the hemorrhaging of the finances for the Disney Corporation, right? In the long run, at least.
Yeah, and we're seeing that right now with all the money the parks are bringing in. Disney is doing a net loss now. They probably
I'm sure.
They probably jacked up the park prices for the past 10 or so years to compensate for their losses. And now, since they jacked it up so damn much, the parks and the people that actually want to go to the parks can't afford this stuff. And now it's making a loss now.
Yeah, and don't forget, it was Disney that had the Star Wars Hotel, if I remember correctly. And
Yep,
that was a massive flop that they ended up shutting it down after so many, I don't know if it took a year or two or how long it took, but they eventually, gave up on that concept because nobody wanted to pay those exorbitant high prices to go and stay at Star Wars Hotel for a couple of days. So that thing, that tanked basically.
Well, I would have wanted to stay at a Star Wars hotel. I just don't have $6,000 laying around.
Exactly.
Well, not only that, but like you weren't even allowed to pick what you were going to be. Like, can you imagine paying $6,000 and your child just being so excited to be a Jedi, and they come in and they're like, "No, you're a Sith. You have to be over there," and you don't get a choice about it? I'd be fucking furious.
Yeah, your kid's all excited about being a Jedi Knight, and they end up having to be Jar Jar Binks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's outrageous though. $6,000. I mean, when I read the numbers for the Disney hotel, I was just like, "You got to be shitting me, right? This can't be real."
Yeah. Plus, from what I hear, the hotel wasn't really even that good to begin
with.
I mean,
the rooms were crappy. They were tiny.
Yes. Yeah. And you're stuck in the room most of the time. Think about it from the parents' point of view. You're stuck in the room most of the time where they're saying, well, we're just going to stay here for a while until, let's see, there's a play. We're going to have a play coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon of Jedi, let's say a Jedi, I don't know, reunion but it's a series of skits with actors. And you're locked up in your room until you're scheduled to go and see these skits with actors. So you're paying to go, it's like being in prison. It's like paying you to be in prison. Because there's no Star Wars experience whatsoever in there. All you're doing when you're going in there is watching people perform plays. And you're paying them. I never figured it out.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
What I read about it, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is, it was like a bad joke that somebody made up right off the top of their head. I couldn't believe that a major corporation with billions of dollars was actually, foisting this kind of garbage on a paying public that actually didn't want to pay. But I mean, for $6,000, you should get like, activities. It should be like, a real theme park. You take the kids out, you go wander around,
What kind of activities are worth $6,000? That should have included a ticket into space for that much.
Well,
really.
They did release a trailer about the Disney Star Cruiser thing, what I remember from the trailer, you're able to play a Star Wars game, which is basically like an arcade game uh, against starfighters and Rebel Alliance fighters. And then there was a lightsaber creation shop.
You're just going and watch. What you're doing is you're paying $6,000 to go watch skits, non-professional actors to perform skits. Is all you're paying for. So like me, I know I would be bored to tears as soon as I got there. Think about this: they didn't even have laser tag.
Well, yeah. Why didn't they have like a thing where kids could go and do lightsaber battles or something, or maybe have a lightsaber battle?
Something.
Yeah, a lightsaber battle against Darth Vader or something. Like kids would have loved that stuff, right?
Everything in it, you're just an observer watching a skit. That's the whole experience.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, for what I hear, it was overpriced for very little. I guess Disney was trying to charge as much as possible and put very little effort into it, and it backfired on them big time.
Yeah, they deserve what they got. But I mean, they should have had like activities, right? Like it should have been like a theme park. You could wander around with the family, go to the Star Wars, the cantina with all the weird aliens playing weird music. That would have been fun. Or you could have taken a ride on a space vehicle, like take a ride in the Millennium Falcon, and shoot off across the galaxy. Like that would have been great stuff. And like Disney should have done all of that. And they were just idiots. Like they should have done that, and they would have been successful if they had. Even at $6,000, I mean, I'm sure well-to-do folks would have taken their families to if it had all those cool things to do. But it's like, as you say, Pop, there was none of that, right?
Yeah, and
I remember the footage of them showing the actual lightsaber that came out and fully extended, and everyone was like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" And then the actor literally puts it down and then picks up the combat lightsaber and doesn't make a show of it or whatever. Oh, dude, I laughed so hard. I was just like, "Oh no!"
Right when the actor puts down one prop to pick up the next, it's like you didn't see that, guys. And you didn't see that. I didn't see that right in front of all of you, but you didn't see that.
I do have a question for you guys. I was on a Star Wars ride. I think they closed it down a long time ago. But what was that old ride where you were able to come into basically a cruise liner, and then there was a interactive pilot robot that was on usually was a interactive with the passengers. Then if you go on the ride, it does a little theater thing where the robot pilot and the passenger ship gets caught up in a battle between the Empire and the Rebellion. I think it was during the Death Star battle or whatever it is called. I was in that Star Wars ride when I was a kid. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Maybe you guys can know.
Where was it?
Judging by what I described.
Where was it?
It was in Disneyland.
Yeah, that was Star Tours.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Well, for me, that was actually a fun ride as a kid. Star Cruise were as a kid.
That's what I'm saying. But as an adult, forget it. It's easy and cheap, very easy and very cheap to entertain little kids. But when you're making adults sit there, and the adults are like, well, we're sitting around bored with our fingers up our ass. What are we supposed to do for fun? Oh, you're supposed to watch your kids have fun. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when I went to Disneyland in 1967 with my parents, like I was like, I don't know, 9 years old or whatever. And, even back then it was a bit pricey, for a working class family to go to, but we managed. But they had stuff for all ages back then, right? They had stuff for the kids like me, and then they had stuff for the adults, like more adult themed stuff. Like they had the Haunted Mansion and the Pirates of the Caribbean. which definitely adults could really enjoy because they were really, scary, exciting rides, right? Because I remember going on Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, wow, it was fantastic because they had all the automatronic pirates and, you know, the warships, blasting each other with their cannons. And oh, it was so awesome because you go down in a waterfall and then you go back up at the end in a waterfall. Yes, Nemesis.
Do you remember when you go through the archway and there's that skull sitting on the top?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it was a great ride. Oh god.
That was a real skull, by the way. That's a real human skull.
Oh well, that's cool. I love that though. It was such a fun. Did you go on Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, several times.
Oh, cool. Yeah, awesome. That was a great ride, wasn't it? Like it was a super fun ride.
I liked Haunted Mansion more, but I was that kid growing up, so.
Okay, well, but still, I mean, the adults would be entertained too, right? It wasn't just for the kids,
Oh, yeah, it was. I remember the Indiana Jones stage production where they emulated the fights in Raiders of the Lost Ark with the airplane. It was awesome.
Yeah, Disney used to really have. They used to know what they were doing when they still had. Well, last year that when I was there in '67 was the last year Walt was still alive, I believe, and then his brother took over for a while, and while you had them kind of in charge, it seemed like it was still on track, right? But I guess after a while, they're probably even the brother's probably gone now, so. They probably got a bunch of new idiots that don't know what they're doing, and they're running the corporation that
Yeah,
Walt
there's nobody.
built.
There's nobody from Disney family left running it anymore.
Yeah, that's the problem, I think, right?
The only thing they have left is that one daughter. I don't remember her name, but she's a vocal critic and she's out against Disney all the time, talking about how shitty they are.
Jeez.
On top of all that slave labor. They hire people, I'm using that word loosely, struggling college kids and workers, and then call them volunteers. And that way they can get them to work the day for free.
Jeez.
And then they'll call you a cast member. That's how isn't that nice? You're going to work you bust your ass off all day, not get paid a penny, but you're a Disneyland cast member.
I would say this as being the youngest panel member here, I probably was during the last so-called generation that went through all the rides you guys probably did when you guys were young adults. Before they took all that stuff out.
Well, considering they're taking out more and more every year, I don't know what's left. I haven't been there in at least 10, 15 years, I think. And I have no intention of ever going back. The only reason why I went then is because I was dragged in by friends.
Hey, I want to say welcome to Euler Greg.
Hey, Euler Greg.
Hi, Euler.
Yeah, Sean, I sent you a picture of it on Twitter there, but I could not figure out where I put the pump at to show you the pump.
No, the thing is, back when I was there in '67, they had all the different lands, right? They had Frontier Land, if you're into Western stuff. They had Tomorrowland if you were into sci-fi. They had Adventureland if you just wanted like adventures or more generic adventures, I guess. And then they had all the wonderful rides like Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion and all that cool stuff. So you could easily, I think we spent 3 days there and we never got bored. Like we had a great time, and they had, good restaurants. You could have a good meal there at a, affordable price. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but, we managed to, have 3 days of fun there. And, back then there was just there's even in 3 days, you couldn't do everything. There was just way too much that they had back in the park in those days. Right. And you could just spend a whole day there and you'd be scratching the surface as far as all the rides and, all the cool things you could do. Right. So it certainly has changed, it seems.
I would tell you this. Last time I've been to Disneyland, I think I've been to Disneyland at least 4 times. I've grown tired of it each time I've been there. Like, the first time was always amazing, but then once you go a few more times, it gets very repetitive, very fast, especially if there's something new to go on. Or
Right,
besides,
how about right, exactly? How about the rides where you stand out there for an hour and a half and ride
well,
in
now that
line?
you
I
got
mean, in line.
now that she got the special pass, which I think for the time I was there with my aunt, we had the special pass that we were able to bypass the long lines, and those rides were actually pretty good. We had the
Yeah,
special pass.
I don't think there was any such thing as a special pass when I was there in '67 with my folks. But the lines even back then, I got to remember. Actually, now that Pop has mentioned it, I don't think there were any lineups. We had more than about maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. So it wasn't as bad in the day, I guess, because there probably weren't as many, folks, there on an average day back, way back when. But yeah, the lineups could, be a little bit of, of a, pain in the butt. But, being a kid, I didn't even really think about it, at the time. Now I think about it in hindsight. But yeah, the lineups could be a bit of a pain in the ass for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why if you could go to the park for 3 days, you wouldn't see it. When you hear people say, "Yeah, I was there for 3 days and I didn't see the whole thing," you don't stop to think of how much time you spend standing in line. That's how they milk you for the money, and they get you to want to go back. They don't want you to see everything in 3 days.
Well,
Yeah, it's impossible between the lineups. Even back when I went in the 2000s with the fast pass system that Sit Down was talking about, even then you'd still be anywhere from half an hour to an hour in the lineup. Otherwise, you'd be waiting up to 2 hours in the lineup. And so, like, if you're waiting for 2 hours for one ride, it's kind of a nightmare. And then you have to go and you have to go through the merch shop and spend some time there. And then you go out and then you got to get something to eat. And, like, yeah, they've designed it to be impossible to see everything to make more money, of course.
yeah. Which now they took out all the old stuff that actually was fascinating and fun to go on. And now, since last time I've been there was about and I gotta think back. It's been a while since I've been to Disneyland. Like last time I went there was when I was about 15 or 16. So about 15 years. How time flies. That's the last time I've been to Disneyland, and I was bored to death of that place.
That's one thing I really cannot stand about Disneyland either is you go and stand a couple of 2.5 hours in line for a ride, and then they had a design that you had to go through the goddamn store. What they called gift area, whatever the fuck that's called.
yeah, the gift shop.
Yeah, you had to try, and then that was a bottleneck because people would stop and just block the aisles because they would stop and look at stuff.
Yeah.
Not that everybody would buy something. They would just stop to look at stuff and they blocked the aisles where you couldn't get around them. I hated that.
As kids, we're so naive of the pace of time. When you think 3 days at Disneyland is going to be magical, then the older we get, we found out it gets more boring because you gotta wait longer and stuff.
Well, yeah, because as a kid, you're not paying for it.
Yeah, but even as a kid, I understood that the line, 2 hours in the line was still 2 hours. I would argue that it was even longer as a kid to wait the 2 hours than it is as an adult.
True. Well, yeah, as a kid, right, you're anticipating, right?
Anyways, Gorilla, you were saying something? You want to check up on the chat or something, bud?
Yeah, because we got a bunch of it.
Thank you.
All right.
Dan says they don't give me Novocaine anymore. Maybe trying to save money. Well, hey, Daniel, you got to learn the system. You just got to start bitching and moaning until they do. It's like if you want any kind of painkillers in the hospital, you got to act like you're freaking dying just for them to give you something. Numbing for a cleaning only. And Sean says they did have activities at that hotel. Space bingo. Oh, fuck. I ain't paying $6,000 to go play bingo. If I want to play bingo, I'll go up to the American Legion.
Right?
Space bingo.
And Greg said, "Hello, everyone." Well, hello to you, OG.
Hey, OG.
Hey,
And
OG, good to see you there, sir.
yeah, Star Wars Hotel was a giant ripoff. Yeah, I'd rather if I'm gonna spend $6,000, I'll put my money in a timeshare.
I mean, I would say, if anything, the hotel, just by what I saw of the pictures and what people see online, that ride should have been at least a third on what it was advertised as. At least a third less.
No, 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 no. I can see maybe like. Are you talking about the ride or the hotel?
The hotel should have been at least $2,000, just about
No,
how it looked.
no, 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 no. 400 at the max.
Oh, in terms of my theme park prices, good luck with that, Gorilla.
Well, there's a reason I don't go to theme parks. And they should have decapitated Ray in the finale. That would have been awesome. Yeah, but this is Disney Star Wars. They're not going to kill anybody off. What are you talking about? And other Greg says, I never went to Disney, but I did go to Astro World.
I've really seen
Never
his
even heard of
exploding head. I've really seen his exploding head been decapitated.
it. Yeah. I've never heard of Astro World.
Yeah, exploding hip hop, and neither have I, Gorilla.
And Sean said, Grill, I got it. Thank you so much. Yeah, not a problem. Hopefully that helps. All right, that's everything.
Okay, I was going to say something, but then I just forgot about it. Oh, Phantom Boomer is in the chat now.
Oh, is he? Hey, Boomer, how's it going? Says,
Hey, Boomer.
Hey, Boomer.
Now, what tail are you throwing at us?
Hello, Phantom Boomer.
Oh yeah, now I know what I was gonna say. I watched a little bit of the new Disney Tales of the Empire series. I mean, I seen I think it was either the third or fourth episode where the Green Jedi apprentice, where she became an Inquisitor and she meets Darth Vader at the end of that episode. That was a good episode. But beyond that, I did not watch any more of the Tales of the Empire. Plus, yeah, I hate it when Disney they're cowards of not having the villains be villains. They want the villains to be anti-heroes or turned into heroes at the end, and that's what I hate. Just let the heroes be, let the villains be villains. Let the heroes be heroes.
That's all of it is now. That's why it tanked, and that's why nobody's watching it anymore.
Yeah, I was never big into Star Wars to begin with.
Yeah, Star Wars ended for me after Return of the Jedi. Basically, I went and saw the prequels, and oh geez, that first prequel, Phantom Menace. Oh geez, that bored the hell out of me, and I was pretty much done at that point.
And PvP, I will tell you this: the prequels do have their problems, but they're a lot better than the sequels.
Oh, I'm sure they are, but I mean, Phantom Menace. I actually paid money to see that in the theater, and I almost wanted to ask for my money back. I was so bored, and I mean, Jar Jar Binks. It's like no, not a good concept from the get go. And I think I watched online. I might have watched the second one. I can't remember the bloody name of it now.
Attack of the Clones, and that was the most boring one in my opinion. It was, especially with that over the top melodramatic love scenes between Anakin and Padme. I hated those scenes. They slowed the pace of the movie so damn much.
Well, that was the problem. Lucas was so great in his early days, and then he kind of lost his vision. I thought. What was the name of the second one again?
Attack of the
Clones.
Okay, I had its moments. Is that the one where there's that huge, really strange-looking creature, and they have like an arena fight or something?
Yes.
Yep, and it rips off that chick's top, so we get a sexy tank top instead of, and it gets to your stomach. Because I mean, I'll take what I can get in that movie.
Yeah, actually, I
Yeah.
enjoyed that scene. I enjoyed a lot. Like that was kind of fun with that weird looking creature. So it had its moments for me. That movie. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a great movie by any means, but it had its moments. I enjoyed it more than I did Phantom Menace. That's for damn sure.
Oh well,
Revenge of the Sith is easily my favorite for sure. Like it's just if there's one out of the three you should have watched, it was that one. PvP.
Okay, that's the third one, is it?
yeah,
Yes.
it's called
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, the
I
rankings.
might have seen it, but it's so long I forget. Maybe I'll rewatch it one of these days.
Yeah, for me, the rankings of the prequels, for me, it's episode 3, then 1, then 2. 2 is the worst of the prequels, for my opinion. I'd rather watch 1 than 2 if I had a second choice of the prequels. But Revenge of the Sith is my favorite prequel, then Phantom Menace, and then Attack of the Clones. I mean, some say that Attack of the Clones was better, but I say hell no, especially with that um, melodramatic or hit you over the head love scenes with Padme and Anakin. I mean, I don't mind romance in a movie, just don't hammer it over our heads with it constantly. Just keep it subtle or keep it somewhat more reasonable. Don't make it over melodramatic.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that's been lost in recent decades in Hollywood is subtlety. Because growing up in the '60s, I watched I don't know. I must be a weird person. I must have been a really weird kid back in the '60s because I was really curious about watching all the previous decades culture that I could absorb. So I'm going back and I'm watching like Charlie Chaplin movies and I'm watching like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, dancing, and I'm watching like the great '50s musicals and I'm like absorbing all this stuff. And it's like you really need, if you want to really understand, Western culture, you really need to watch some of this stuff because this is like the foundation level stuff that we're still, well, we should be building on if we had anybody with brains, working in the cultural industries these days, which sadly we're lacking that. But it's like, you go back and you realize, you know, that then they had romance, but when Fred and Ginger were, dancing up a storm and tripping the light fantastic and doing great, incredible dance scenes, there was a romantic undercurrent, but it definitely wasn't hitting us over the head with that kind of thing, right? So it's like
Well, the
I think
reason why it was like that,
subtleties.
well, the reason it was like that, like melodramatic, as Dan said, was because you have to remember, since it was a prequel, we already knew what was going to happen after. So all they were doing was just filling in the blanks and stretching out the plot. Because we knew what was going to happen in the next movie. And that's why the movies were going to suck and they were going to be boring from the very outset. There's no suspense.
Yeah, tell me, have any of you seen the movie the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yeah.
I watched it years ago. I was actually not really a fan of that movie. Maybe I don't know. I was quite young when I saw it, so I couldn't actually get into it. I should have because the car was kind of cool, and Dick Van
Yeah, the
Dyke,
car was
you
cool.
know,
Had that Ian Fleming flair to it. I liked it. Benny Hill as the toy maker. Absolutely.
yeah, it
Yeah,
had
he,
elements I enjoyed, but overall, I guess maybe as a kid, didn't quite grasp everything, so I didn't really get into it. But it's a movie I probably should rewatch one of these days. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I've seen it plenty of times when I was a kid, and for what I remember, thinking back on it and criticizing it, I would say the movie is okay. I mean, it's not great, nor is it bad. I would say it's in the middle. It's okay as a movie.
I didn't enjoy it.
I
But that's
think
just me.
well, it's like any watching any movie. It's a personal experience, and we're all going to have a different reaction to different films, right? So, um, but yeah, I have to, I can't really rate it today because it's been so long. I haven't seen that movie probably in 45, 50 years, something. So yeah, I wouldn't be fair to give it a rating. I thought it was okay for what it was, but it wasn't one of my personal favorites of all time. I mean, I like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins a lot more. So that's just me.
Yeah, and I've seen that movie at least 5 times in my childhood too. Mary Poppins, that movie.
I do not like Mary Poppins.
See, I love Mary Poppins because I saw it when I
You
was
know,
like 8 years
a lot
old.
I know. Yeah, me too. But I just found those movies boring as hell.
I agree, Pop.
See, I just
Me too, bro.
I just
Sorry,
really
PV, go ahead.
well, when did it came out? 19 was it 64? I was like 6 or 7 maybe. It was one of the first movies I ever saw in a theater, which probably had something to do with the impact because our local movie house had a ginormous screen, right? That was just immense, immense screen. So I was totally immersed in that movie from beginning to end, and I liked the songs. I thought Julie Andrews was, really, charming, playing Mary. I like Dick Van Dyke's kind of goofy. I mean, his Cockney accent or whatever was probably atrocious, but I was a kid, so I didn't really notice it, really. And I just had fun. And some of the scenes, like the feed the bird sequence with all the birds flying around, and I just thought it was kind of a magical film for me at that age. I mean, I haven't seen it in years. I might downgrade it now as an adult, but I tell you, when I was a kid back watching that in the theater way back in the day, I was entranced for the entire film. Like I was immersed, right? And if any movie can immerse me and grab my mind like that film did, and take me on a journey on a ride to another place that I never dreamed about, like to me, that's a good movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, I liked it. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, I'm glad you did, dude.
Yeah, well, maybe I'd hate it now if I rewatched it, so maybe I shouldn't.
Well, let's keep the nostalgia glasses
I
on,
say,
man.
hey, this is cornball. Why did I ever enjoy this? Yee.
No, if you enjoyed it at that time in your life, you enjoyed it for a reason, right?
Well, Nemesis, it did get me into movies big time because that was, and it got me into going and seeing movies in a theater when cinema was still fun to go and sit there with a room full of people and actually enjoy something together as a communal kind of thing, right?
That's fair. We
So
didn't
what
have
I
that
missed?
experience growing up.
What I miss?
Oh, I was just going on about Mary Poppins, so it's no big deal. You didn't miss too much.
Yeah, especially with Dick Van Dyke. From what the English tell me, he did a terrible English accent.
That's what I've heard, but when you're like 6 years old, it doesn't matter. I still got into it because I wasn't aware of English accents, real ones at that age.
Mary Poppins, so good to see you, Mary Poppins.
I think he did a better job than that, actually, Dan. Oh boy. So everybody must have their favorite childhood memory of a movie that they saw when they were like little tiny kiddo, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell us about it, Pop.
Well, mine was The Exorcist.
Oh,
I should have known. I should have known that Pop's childhood movie would be The Exorcist. That's great.
Well, now we know why Pop likes to be scared because he watched The Exorcist as a kid. He's been scared for the rest since he was a child.
That's awesome, Pop. That's fabulous, man.
That's why I raised the bar very high.
That's
when I go to horror movies.
Love it. Well, I remember when you said you were on.
Here we are now, 50 years later, and they haven't topped it yet.
They're coming out with a new Omen movie, and I'm not excited.
Oh no, you're kidding. Why do they have to remake? Why remake the classics when the classics are the classics? I don't get it.
Well, they're calling this one or is it it's the first Omen? It's a prequel, of course, because we
Oh,
can't
not
do
another
anything.
bloody prequel. Oh God, I hate prequels.
Yeah.
There's got to be a song there. I hate prequels. I hate sequels. I hate remakes. There's got to be a song there somewhere.
Well, you gotta write it then, bro.
I should.
Well, you are a fan of classic music or classic music bands from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and probably 90s. You probably know a few lyrics or a few tunes to do on top of your head to do a little rhyme.
I know a lot of tunes, but maybe not off the top of my head. But actually, I can go back to like the mid '50s when Bill Haley put out "Rock Around the Clock" in 1955. And basically from 1955, I'd say till 1995, music was pretty damn good for about 40 years there. And then I'd say midway through the 90s, it started to just tank, like big time tank. And now I think it's been crap for the last quarter century, personally. There are a few good young bands, though, don't get me wrong. There are a few great young bands I've discovered over the last 3 or 4 years that are actually really quite awesome. But generally, I think music kind of sucks now.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't top the originals. You can only play tribute to them. That's what, if you're able to find newer bands, they probably play tribute to their older bands that inspire them.
No, not actually, Dan. I'll tell you a couple bands quickly that come to mind. There's an awesome Australian band called Amyl and the Sniffers, as in, I guess, sniffing amyl nitrate, which I guess is kind of like some kind of upper drug you inhale to get high. So Amyl and the Sniffers, and the singer's name is Amy, so I think that's why they went with Amyl and the Sniffers, playing on her first name. Anyway, they're kind of a great Aussie punk band. They kind of harken back to the golden age of punk in the late 70s. And they're really good. Like, she's a fireball performer. She's awesome. And they're like really basic, guitar driven punk, but man, they're really good. So I recommend them if you want to check out Amyl and Sniffers. They got all their videos up here on YouTube, of course. And another great band I discovered about 3 or 4 years ago was an American band. And oh God, what's their name? Oh geez. Okay, I might have to look them up because I'm drawing a blank. Man, my memory some days. Starcrawler. Starcrawler is the name of that band, and they have got some really great songs. I think they put out 3 albums now, and they've actually, done quite well, considering like it's hard to make money as a band these days because they don't sell records like they used to. But they've been touring the world. They've done like Japan and Europe and North America. Quite often they've toured, and they're probably making their money that way. But they got a really good sound, really good band. I'd say they kind of harken back to, like, they've got a lot of elements of the classic rock from the 60s and 70s. So they've done their homework. So check out Starcrawler. They're a really good band too.
Yeah, so you sort of just proved my point, PvP, when I said that most of these younger bands play tribute to the older stuff. Even like they borrow elements from it to do their own thing. So you just proved my point basically halfway through.
Well, they borrow, Dan, but they're not really paying tribute in that sense. They're not like a cover band, if you know what I mean. They are taking elements, but they're learning from the past, but they're not necessarily mimicking the past, right? So I think there is a subtle difference there. Anyway, that's just 2 bands I wanted to mention. I know I've gone on way too long, and everybody's probably bored to tears by now, but just wanted to share that with you guys.
Well, I know of two youngish bands. They're probably older than me though. But if I want to listen to music besides people that are now either in their 80s, 70s, or dead, I can look those bands up.
You guys should listen to Spirit Box, especially you, PvP. They're Canadian.
What was that, Nemesis? I didn't hear you clearly there.
You should listen to Spirit Box PvP. They're Canadian. They're from BC. You'd like them. Maybe
Spirit
not. They're pretty heavy, but yeah, dude.
Oh, hey, heavy. I like heavy. I mean, hell, I mean, I had all of AC/DC's Bon Scott albums in the 70s. I would headbang to those suckers quite repeatedly. So yeah, Black Sabbath. I mean, I went to the Black Sabbath 13 tour with my cousin. We had a great time. So I can definitely get into heavy. There's no problem with heavy.
All right, I'll send you a link then in the future.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Actually, if you want to even post it, I guess in the private chat on the StreamYard here would probably be okay. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm building a model. Yeah, definitely. I'll get right on that in a second.
Okay.
And 130's in the chat.
Oh, my laptop does not fit on it. Anyways, Pop, Gorilla, what's going on with you guys? You're awfully quiet.
Nothing, just getting hungry.
Hungry?
I'm not
Sorry,
familiar
go
with,
ahead.
I'm not familiar with classic Canadian bands, so I don't really have much to add to that.
That's fair.
So, Gorilla, since you're getting hungry, are you gonna make yourself some banana bread?
What's with the banana jokes all the time?
Well, you're a gorilla, that's why. And gorillas like bananas, so I do banana jokes.
Hey, speaking of food, Gorilla, that northern pike, that's a big, humongous fish, is it not?
Well, I got a smaller one that's about
Okay.
15 inches.
Because I've seen some that are like a guy will hold it up and they're like, the sucker's like 3 feet long or something. It's a big fat fish.
I've seen them all the way up to 56 inches.
Well, I'm sure, but I've just seen, it's not like I spend hours every weekend looking at videos of northern pikes. Like I'm not that kinky, right? But I've seen videos, but they're big fish though.
Yeah, I got a small one.
What? You might want to rephrase that.
Oh my god!
I ain't rephrasing shit. So
this is too good.
Well, PvP, that's your fault if you want to do a wrestling contest with Gorilla right now, okay?
Oh god!
Nobody ever clips me like they clip Bird of Prey 5. So. All right. Oh, welcome, Herc. Let's catch up on chat. Then I'm gonna go fix something for easier. Boomer says, "I fell asleep in my comfy chair. Planned on being here sooner. That's totally all right, Boomer. The strengths of the prequels are overall storyline. Ian McDermott's performance. Obviously, they had many drawbacks." All right, so, and hey, Jim's Landscape, welcome. I haven't really.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Boomers, damn it, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Damn it, Boo. And for some reason, Discovery is saying Guvana, so I'm guessing that you need bless you or something. I don't know. Oh, Jim's going tonight.
Good night, Jim. Have a great night. Thank you for coming by.
And Herc says, hello, panel and usual suspects.
Hey, Herc.
Everybody's here. He goes, uh-oh, banana joke fatigue. And then Norm. All right, that's all the chats. I'm gonna go make myself some ramen noodles and a chicken breast.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
bro. Fucking Jesus.
I thought I should do eventually too, I guess. But I don't know. Are there any movies scheduled to come out this year you guys are excited about seeing? Just Deadpool, right?
That's the only one I'm planning on seeing. Pop is the Deadpool film. They've actually made $10 million in advance ticket sales already, even though the film's not coming out for 2 months. So that's a pretty good sign that there might be an interest in that movie. So I'm hoping it's good. Yeah, I don't know if it will be. It might be shit, but I'm hoping it's going to be decent because I missed the first two and I never saw them in the theater. So I'm going to go check out the third one because it probably will be the only damn movie I go and see this year anyway at a theater. So yeah, I'm going to give it a chance. You know.
Well, to me, you guys know I probably will not go see it.
Well,
I
I'll tell
might
you what,
review
Pop.
it if it comes out on high seas.
I'll tell you what, Pop. I'll go and see it first, and if I think it's decent and not any of that woke shit, I will let you know, and then you can make up your mind if you figure it's worthwhile.
Cool, I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I may see it depending on how the reviews and what the fan reaction is to it. I may see it online.
I want to see it on a
Yeah.
big screen because the first two were so cool. I can imagine how cool they would have been on a big ginormous screen, right? So I'm gonna go and see it in the theater. Oh, sorry, Nemesis, didn't mean to cut you off there, but
No, it's all good, bro. Yeah, no, I'm torn. I'd love to go see it in once again, it depends. Like, I don't know if it would be worth seeing in the theaters or not. I'll have to, once again, list out the people's reviews, that type of thing. I haven't seen the second one, so, I mean.
You haven't seen the second Deadpool? Wow.
No, I have not. It's on the list.
Oh, do yourself a favor. As much as I love the first movie, I think the second one is quite a bit better. It's a rush, man. It's really cool. And all filmed in Vancouver, just like the first movie too, right? So when I watch those movies, I'm recognizing so many of the streets that they're filming on. It's hilarious because I'm like, oh yeah, I walked down that sidewalk. I walked over there. Oh yeah, I've driven over that bridge. You know, it's a lot of fun for me. You know, because it's personal, right? You know, too.
Well, then who knows, PvP? Your car may be in the movie and you just don't know it. Maybe if you have a good eye, you probably can spot your car in the movie.
No. They had the authorities close all the streets off when they were filming stuff. They filmed. Let's put it this way: they filmed some scenes on the Georgia Viaduct Bridge, and they closed that sucker right off because they had all kinds of like carnage, you know, wrecked vehicles all strewn everywhere. There's no way there could be any traffic, real traffic, actually passing through when they were doing the film scenes. So yeah, they blocked everything off quite securely. Actually, you could go on YouTube. There's a lot of behind the scenes footage on YouTube about how they close the streets off and stuff, which is actually a lot of fun to watch. Actually, if you want to check it out.
Well, that's too bad because if your car or yourself was in one of the movies as a background character, I'll be talking to a movie star.
Yeah, well, no luck. I wasn't even in Vancouver when they were filming them anyway. I haven't been in Vancouver since the early 80s. It's been a long time. Oh, no, early 90s, I meant. Early 90s. It's been a while.
And PvP, you know what? If Gorilla is able to dig up a picture of you, I would love to see it.
No, you don't want to see a picture of me. Nobody wants to see a picture of me. I like to remain incognito because I'm still working part-time at my job. So it's doubtful my boss will ever hear any of this, but it's bad enough that she might recognize my voice. But if I put my picture on, that would make it even worse. Besides, you're not missing much. Well, I'll put it that way.
Well, my point is that Gorilla is so good at finding very obscure things. I would not be surprised if, by some miracle, he does find a picture of you on the internet and he shows it to you and say, "Hey, PvP, is this you I found on the internet by digging up something?"
Nah, that's not going to happen because I never posted my photo on the internet ever because I don't trust the internet to that level, to be honest. So, yeah. Now, if Gorilla goes and uses an AI to try and make an image of me, I'm going to be quite cross with him, and I'm going to throw coconuts at him till he pleads for mercy.
Well, here's the thing, PvP. Has he ever seen you to do an AI image?
Oh, hell no. He'd be just totally winging it, so it probably would be ridiculous anyway if he tried.
Yeah. Or maybe he'll just do it off of your voice. See, judging by his voice, he may look like this, judging by off of his voice.
Well, this is the thing with AI. When he did the RoboCop 3 thumbnail the other day, when we watched it, the AI got the spelling of RoboCop completely wrong. And if you go look at RoboCop 3, it's like Robbie. Oh God, it's like Robbie, and then cop isn't even spelled properly. It's really bad. And I remember Gorilla mentioning if AI can't even spell a bloody name correctly, you know, how good is it actually going to be of any use? You know. Oh, Gorilla would probably tell you about that if he was here. I guess he's off cooking something right now.
Yeah, right. Well, he did type something inside the chat. He probably did it over his phone.
Yeah, he's making some ramen noodles.
I wonder if he's got a good recipe like for jazzing those up, because I've got I've got too many ramen noodles sitting around here. And
Hey, PvP.
I wonder if he's got a good recipe like
Yeah.
for jazzing
Hey,
those up. 'Cause
just so you know, I already got your name. I got your name, your picture. I got your address. I even got your arrest record from when you got into a brawl in a bar there in 1989 in San Francisco.
no, that's completely false because I never got into a barroom brawl. But good try there, Gorilla. Good try.
But my phone was acting up. I couldn't type that all in.
Oh well, that's okay.
All right, back to dishes.
Yeah, back to the food or whatever you're doing. Yeah, northern pike though, man, that's a big fish. Like Gorilla could do a lot of eating off of that fish.
Mm. Tell me, do you have chicken flavored, beef flavored, or shrimp flavored ramen?
Oh, I got a variety. I got bag full of the damn things. Well, people keep giving them to me because I guess they don't want to eat the bloody stuff. So I've got a bag full of them. I'm trying to think of a recipe though. There must be like where you can you know, put them in a tray and maybe smother them in sauce or something and put them in the oven and have like some kind of ramen lasagna weird combo thing. Like, because it just seems boring to just boil them up and just eat them as they are, right?
Well, PvP.
Kathy Mitchell has ramen recipes.
Yeah,
the whole ramen cookbook, bro.
There probably are recipes to make a ramen lasagna if you're able to look it up on the internet or just buy a ramen recipe cookbook. Maybe there is a recipe about ramen pasta or whatever.
I bet it's on YouTube, actually, if I look it up. I really should, because I've got too many of these damn things, and I need to eat some of them and get rid of them. So, yeah.
Well,
by the way, just wanted to mention, I posted some links to Emil and the Sniffers and Starcrawler. I put one video each, and then I put their homepage on YouTube as well, if you want to peruse and check them out. Because I didn't want to plaster too many videos, because they've got, between the two of them, they probably easily got a dozen videos up on YouTube, and they're pretty crazy bands, but they're kind of fun, and I would say check them out.
Well, if you want to try to get rid of your top ramen stuff, you can try see if Pop's wants some, because Pop, he does need to. Well, I don't want to hit too close to home, but from what I hear, what Pop says, he does need to eat a little bit more to stay healthy.
I think the postage costs would be excessive shipping them to Pop, actually. Because, ramen's not that expensive, and, Canada Post would not be cheap. And besides, if it's going to cross the border and it's a food item, that could create complications, because I think you got to have some kind of certificate or something to mail, food across border. Like most things are fine, but I think food's one of those, special categories where the post office might get a little antsy if you don't, get the proper, listing of what the package contains, because they do love to open stuff at the border sometimes, I know. So, yeah, it wouldn't be worthwhile. I'm sure Pop has ramen noodles easily available.
Definitely.
Besides, you should be eating better than ramen anyway. Ramen's kind of like a low, low level food source.
It's something I eat when I'm in a hurry if I don't have a lot of time or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a good snack or whatever. Yeah.
Together, yeah.
Hardly a main course though, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, a nice juicy steak that's fully cooked, and along with some nice pork and beans. Maybe add a little barbecue sauce into your pork and beans if you like them a little spicy, or a little honey flavored barbecue sauce to add to your pork and beans. Then maybe a nice serving of spinach, and then just have a nice slice of bread, put a little butter on it, fold it in half, and there you go, a nice small dinner, or a nice
That's
somewhat large dinner.
cool.
Yeah, well, I still got some stuff from. I went to my cousin's on Friday, and we had our annual spring barbecue. And I took a bunch of frozen food I've had stockpiled in the freezer. I let it thaw, and then my cousin barbecued it for me, and I just brought it back home. And it's still in the fridge. I've been eating that for the last since Saturday. Every night I've been having some of that, and I still got quite a bit left. I still got some sausages, which I'll probably cook up later. I think there's some teriyaki something in there, and there might be a bit of fish or something. And I think there's one burger left too, because I had some burgers on Saturday night. So I got to eat those up for the rest of the week. So I got more food
Hey,
than I know what to do with.
all right. Hey, sit down. If you cook a steak well done, you've ruined it, and it is a crime that should be punished by 20 years behind bars. So,
Oh, well, gorilla, like, I was just inferring, well, because people don't like their steaks medium rare. I mean, I do like mine somewhat cooked, but not raw, nor all the way cooked.
hey, well, I bite
Oh,
into
medium
that
rare is like the best. Little up rare, like
Yeah,
Hey,
I learned that way.
yeah.
Hey,
Hey, if
Grow,
I bite that,
I was
yeah, if
just
I
gonna
bite
say,
that
Grow.
steak, they're move back at me.
That's what I was gonna say. You like the steak still moving and mooing, right?
Yeah, yeah. PvP for ramen noodles. I got these chicken breasts, but I gotta look into some other stuff because these things were too damn expensive to have like 7 in the bag. But like, I got some chicken breasts here. I just cut them up and then or heat them up and cut them up and throw them into the ramen noodles there with me.
Oh, okay, good idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
you do that with your hamburgers too.
I'm sure there's lots of recipes on the YouTube with all kinds of crazy concoctions people have
yeah,
discovered. Because, yeah, I got to use some of these suckers up. I got too many of them hanging around the apartment here.
yeah.
So,
And welcome, Captain Affinity.
Yeah, you can also put. Well, I'll drop like an egg in there, so kind of like
Yeah.
a parboiled egg.
that's a good idea. Yeah, I never thought of that. That would work. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and if you do over easy, you can also, or sunny side up, you can use the yolk to thicken the soup, and it adds a different flavor to it as well, or to the
Okay.
ramen, I should say.
Wow, gosh. Well, I'll have to experiment. Maybe I'll start a ramen channel. You know, ramen with PvP. No, probably not. But just saying. I'll
I mean, you
probably
could.
I'll stick to my music. Actually, I think I got to 90 subs this week on my music playlist, which I find quite astounding. Actually, that I've gotten that many subs. It's amazing. I never thought I'd get that many subs just doing music playlists, but well,
You
it
never
is
know,
what it
huh?
is. Eh?
You never know.
Yeah, never say never, right, Pop? I mean, you never know how things will turn out, and that's one thing I've learned over the years is to never try and take a guess at what reality might present, because quite often when you're thinking it might go one way, it'll go another way, and you know, often for the better, hopefully. So
Yeah, here's hoping, anyways, right? Like,
you always got to
never
have those.
presume, or you're making an ass out of you, or you never assume, right, PvP?
That's the thing I learned when I took my job upgrading course 5 years ago, I guess it is now. I was unemployed. I was depressed. My still getting over the death of my mom, and I didn't know what to do. And my cousin said, hey, get your head out of your ass and go down to the community resources. They're really awesome people, because they've helped some friends that of my wife that she knew, you know, and got them on track. So I went there and took the job training upgrade thing for like 2.5 months, and met a whole classroom of really awesome, incredible people. You know, it's amazing. Like I met a lady that's played the organ at her church, but when we got talking about music, she was a big punk rock fan and loved the Ramones. You know, and she's like in her 60s, right? And we're talking about the Ramones. It's like, yeah, never assume, right, Nemesis? And
100%.
yeah, it was such a great group of people. We had one guy that had actually served in Afghanistan. You know, I mean, he was like a little higher up, I guess. He wasn't just the regular ground troops, but he talked about some of his experiences there, and he was a really cool guy. And so, yeah, the one thing I learned is never assume because actually, one of the ladies, we had three different ladies in classroom instruction, right? I was there Monday through Friday. You know, we get there at 9, we'd be there till 4. You know, we had all the class stuff. And they told this story one time about a true story. A guy was going for a job interview and he was late and he was pissed off and he was running out of gas. So he pulled into the gas station and, you know, put some gas in the tank to get to his job interview. And there was this guy blocking his way and he couldn't get out of the gas station, you know. And finally he managed to, you know, get by this guy and he was pissed off and he gave the guy the finger, right? So anyway, he drives over to the interview, parks his car, walks into the office. Guess who the guy is behind the desk that's going to interview him for the job? Yes,
Well, it's the dude he flipped off, of course,
the
because that's
guy
how
he
life
gave
works.
the guy he gave the bird to. So he did not get the job. So that's why it's like just never make assumptions and just, you know, it's like you never know the person you're talking to might be the person that can make your life better or worse. So, you know, try and be respectful to people, right? So it was a good lesson anyway. Anyway, shit, I talk so much. I'm sorry, guys. I talk too much. On and on, on and on. Somebody must have another story to tell.
No, but I think I'm going to be closing it up here because I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day for me, guys.
That's okay, Bob.
Yeah,
We've just been
yeah.
happy to have you here and spend the time with you, dude.
Yeah, it's been fun. Last couple hours, it's been good fun.
Yeah, it has, and I'm glad that. Thank you to Gorilla. I know he's probably cooking dinner. But thank you, buddy, for helping me get my mic straightened around tonight. Let me see if I can figure out where he left off on the comments.
Oh, Pop, I left it up.
What's that?
Oh, I left it up on the screen where we left off here. Yeah. I can get to it here real quick.
The respond
Yeah.
says,
Scurvy here said, Governor, as in governor in the bad Cockney accent. Read the Dick Van Dyke conversation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to read this?
PVV spent a month in Vancouver one night. Rimshot stoosh.
No, and that's a screw up on my. And Herc says, LOL. Yeah, and welcome Captain Affinity here. He's giving us some kind of drink. Let me see, Cap, Herc. And Herc says, 20 years of eating ramen, that would be a punishment. Yep.
yeah, that
And-
would not be good for a lot longer time.
Yeah, and PvP, would you like to read this one?
An egg in the ramen is common when it is served in a restaurant. Eggnog in it, not as common. Thank you, Lemon.
Yep, anyone want to read this one?
Sure. A dash of eggnog in your booze is pretty good. Well, yeah, I can't argue with that point.
Mhm.
Yep, and more turquoise raven people. So that's it for chats.
Okay, Gorilla, tell us about your channel.
Well, I do a couple watch parties a week. Wednesdays we watch Justified. There, we're in the middle of season 5. We should be back on Wednesday. Thursday for Cringe Stock, we are going to war with Canada in Canadian bacon. And then,
Oh, no way.
Yeah, hey, come join us, Nemesis. Then on Friday, we are reviewing the episode "The Job." It's season 3, episode 11. Then Saturday, if I'm around, we'll be watching 2 more episodes of RoboCop. Then for Cinema Sunday, it's a special a cringe stock Cinema Sunday. There with the reboot of RoboCop, and that should be the last of them. I do got to pull up in my chat for that there. So for our next one, and that's about it, except for a bunch of shorts that I got going on.
Thank you for helping me out with chat tonight, Gorilla, and getting my mic fixed.
No problem.
And what about you, PvP? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'll just try and keep it brief because I know you're tired, Pop, and everybody wants to probably go eat or something because I should eat some supper too. Just working on the music channel, my channel with the music playlists. I'm concentrating on the UK punk band from 1976, The Damned, because I'm going to be seeing them in about 2.5 weeks in Vancouver. My cousin and I are going to go to the Commodore Ballroom, which is just only capacity of 990 people. So it's going to be an up close and personal kind of concert where we can get right up to the stage and see a band that's been going for 48 years, which I find amazing because most bands after 48 years aren't touring. And these guys have got 4 of the original members back for this tour, which I think is absolutely unreal because most bands that old maybe have one guy left that is actual a guy in the band and a bunch of session musicians, but not this band. They got all 4 original members back, and they have a lot of great music. So I've been concentrating on uploading the albums by The Damned. I think I've got about 6 of their best albums up on my channel right now. So if anybody wants to go and check out my playlists and listen to their stuff, it would be great because they really are really, really good. And they don't just do punk; they morphed into a goth band in the mid '80s. So they've got a lot of sounds. They never stuck to one kind of sound. They one of those bands that evolved and changed and grew over the years, which was why I love them so much. So anyway, that's about it. I'll keep it short and I'll pass it on. I guess probably to Nemesis. I'm guessing.
Sure, Nemesis, tell us about your channel.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Nemesis. Everyone knows that. I've been doing Stellar Blade playthroughs on the PS5. I haven't been uploading anything for Skullgirls or Duel Links because I've been neglecting that. So if you want to see a hot Asian robot chick run around in skimpy outfits with a bunch of blood and gore and action, definitely check out my gameplay. Would love to have you over there.
Very cool.
And thank you so much for having me, Pop, and thank you so much to everyone on the panel and in the chat for being here. You guys are rock stars.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. My pleasure. Good. How about you, Sci-Fi Sit Dan? What say you?
Now, Sci-Fi says be right back in the private chat, so maybe he's not here.
I'm back. So what I miss?
We were just all signing off. We're all signing off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry about that. Well, just to catch up, if Pop will allow, to all your chatters and viewers and to the palace that may not know me, but you probably know me already, I'm Sci-Fi Sit Dan. I usually cover different sci-fi TV shows or movies, depending how well versed I am in them. I do cover other franchises or movies, depending how well versed I am in those franchises. On my YouTube channel, I do different crossover universes videos and movie lists. I usually do my live streams on Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. I may change that for my second season. I am usually on other people's panels or live streams if they will allow it, and if there's a link in their chat. And beyond that, that's all I have to say. And if Pop wants to do his final sign off, or if he hasn't done his promotion yet, I'll let him do it right now.
Yeah, hopefully Gorilla and I will be back tomorrow night for Gilligan's Island. 2 more episodes from season 3. And then hopefully next Saturday for another Rumblings from the Lab. And then maybe hit back in stride, continue, get back to our Lost Space streams, and drop for the next Tuesday. But I want to thank everybody for being here. thank all of you in the chat, especially. You guys were very patient waiting there in the beginning for us to read our chats and catch up to you. I really did miss you guys. So I will see everybody soon. And is there anything either of you like to add before we leave?
Try to stay alive and healthy, Pop, as long as possible.
I will do my best. Okay.
I'm good. Stay amazing, you beautiful beings.
Yeah, I'm good. Have a good evening, guys, and we'll see you all soon, I'm sure.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Peace.
Good night.